Well, it looks like we have everyone logged on who is going to be attending today's webinar. So thank you very much for attending today's webinar on our business and foreign publisher statement filing. Today, I'm going to go over the filing tool, but before I do that, I do want to go over the filing tool in general, just give you some quick tips about it, and then what I will also then do is go into a live demonstration. So with that, I'm going to start the presentation. So we're going to go over quick tips today. I'm going to go over just a quick PowerPoint to go over each section of the filing tool to give you some filing pointers about the filing tool. And then I'm going to switch to a live demo. And then at the end, I'm going to refer you to some really good reference materials that we have on the filing instructions. So as you all know, the December publisher statement, the ending 6th month, December 31st, 2018, is going to be due here shortly. So just to kind of as a reminder for our December ending publisher statements, will always be due on January 31st. For the ones that are 6th month ending June 30th, they will be due July 31st. Now, if it happens to be that the filing deadline falls on a weekend, it will be due that following business day. Just some housekeeping notes when you get started with the filing tool. The best browsers to use for AAM's filing tool is either going to be Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Also, too, when you go into the filing center, the credentials you're going to use are specific for the filing center. They are not your Media Intelligence Center login credentials. They are specific for the filing center. So if you're unsure what your filing credentials are, please contact me. I will be more than happy to provide your credentials for you. Now, the starting point when you get into the filing tool is going to be this section here. It's called General Information Circulation Data. And your first thing you're going to do is this Publication Information section. The filing tool is set up in 3 main components. You're going to have the General Information, Analysis, and then a Review and Submit. But you always want to start in the General Information section under Publication Information. This is going to be the starting point for you. The reason why you want to start here is because what you indicate in the filing tool in this section will dictate how the setup will be in the filing tool. So you want to make sure that if you have in this, you want to address the questions. So one of the questions is, what circulation types will you be reporting? Do you have print? Do you have digital? Do you have both? You want to make sure that you check each one that's applicable to your title. If you happen to have digital circulation but you didn't check the box, what will happen is that when it comes time to entering data for your digital information, you won't have a spot to do that. So you'd have to go back to the Publication Information section and check digital so that digital information would appear for you. Also, too, if you remember anything and you get anything out of this webinar, is to remember to save and save often. Our filing tool has each section will have 2 save features. You have save and continue. To save, when you click the save button, it'll bring up a message saying successfully saved and leave you on the same page. Save and continue will save your message or save your information that you had recently entered, but it will continue move you forward to the next section in the filing tool. But under both, you will receive a message saying successfully save. Now, we all multitask when we're doing things, and especially when it comes time to filing, so just make sure you are saving and save often, because our filing tool does time out after a few minutes of inactivity. So you want to make sure that your information is saved. Now, there's going to be 3 main components that you're going to be entering in the filing tool. And the first one is the issue by issue section. This is truly kind of the heart of your publisher statement filing. What this is you're going to, in this section, you're going to report all the issues that you had during the statement period. Some of you are a monthly, some of you are a weekly publication, some are bi-monthly. So you put what's applicable to your publication. There's a plus icon in the filing tool. When you click the plus icon, it'll bring up another box for you to enter your next issue. One thing to note about the issue by issue section, it's going to have a lot of information for you to fill out, not just your total qualified pay distribution and if you have any qualified non-pay distribution, but it's also going to have each applicable category for paid circulation, for your qualified non-paid. So for example, as paid individual, your paid digital, if you have paid association, things of that nature, it's going to be pretty comprehensive. Now your PDF document of your publisher statement when it comes to issue by issue is only going to show the total paid and the total qualified non-paid. It's not going to go into the detail. The details will be in paragraph 1 where it breaks out your 6-month averages by individual paid, if you had associations, things of that nature. But in the filing tool, the issue by issue section is going to be comprehensive. And the reason why is because what you enter into the issue by issue section will automatically calculate your average for paragraph 1, which is your 6-month averages broken down by distribution. So just kind of keep that in mind, and it'll make more sense when we go into the live demo about the issue by issue section. One of the things you can do in the issue by issue section is you can either enter information in manually or you can upload a CVS file. It's purely up to you what you feel comfortable doing. If you're just a monthly publication, it probably just makes sense to go ahead and just enter it manually. But if you're a weekly publication, you may want to think about uploading your CVS file. The CVS file, we do have a template in the issue by issue section, so you can download that template to use, and then you can upload that file. Some more quick tips for the issue by issue is when you are reporting qualified paid distribution, you want to make sure that you are reporting net distribution, meaning returns are deducted. A lot of our business publication and farm publications really don't have single copy sales, but if you do, you want to remember to deduct your returns. Also, too, in the issue by issue section, we're going to select an analyzed issue. The analyzed issue is an issue you're going to break down further in the publisher statement by your business occupational analysis, your age of source, mailing address, and your geographical analysis. It's up to you to decide what issue you would like to choose for an analyzed issue, but it has to be within the statement period. So for your December, you can choose anywhere from your July issue through December. Again, it's up to you to decide what your analyzed issue is, but it does have to be within the statement period. There's also an option to report adds and removes. If you decide not to report it, then you just are going to click the box that you do not want to show adds and removes. Some of our publications do have special issues. A special issue, for example, would be an anniversary issue. These issues stay out longer on the newsstand. They're in addition to your regular issues. So if you do have a special issue, you do report it in the issue by issue section. However, you're going to indicate that it's a special issue. Special issues are not included in the 6-month average. They're just disclosed in the issue by issue section. Also, too, when you're entering data into the issue by issue section, you can make edits at any time prior to submission. You can do it manually, or if you did upload a file, you can revise your file and then re-upload your revised file. And again, remember to save often. Naming conventions for your issues in the filing tool. If you're a monthly publication, you're going to put in the first 3 letters of the month. If you're a weekly publication, it's going to be the first 3 letters of the month followed by the 2-digit date. So, for example, June would be JUN01 and then JUN08. Some of our titles have their issues has specific names for the issue. If that's the case, you want to put in the complete name of that issue. Also, too, no periods or abbreviations when you enter your information in for the naming of your issues. And also in the issue by issue section, to add a line, you would hit the plus button. If you have an extra line, you can always hit the X, and that will delete the line item. So when we go into our live demo, this is what you're going to see. You'll see the issue, and then there will be a red box here to select a calendar date. Here's special issue in case you have a special issue. Then the analyzed, you want to select which issue is going to be your analyzed issue. It breaks down your distribution by specific category under qualified paid, qualified non-paid. It's even going to have information about your non-analyzed non-paid. Even though we don't show that in the issue by issue, we do show that as an average. So the filing tool will calculate your average for your non-analyzed non-paid number. And again, this will make a lot more sense when we go into the live demo. Once you're done with the issue by issue section, it'll bring you down to regional and demographic additions. This is only applicable for those publications that have a regional or demographic issue. If you do, this is a section you would fill out. If not, you just skip and move forward. This is the second main component that you'll spend time entering information. This is the business occupational analysis. This is when you, in the issue by issue section, you select your analyzed issue. You're going to take that analyzed issue and you're going to break it down by business type, job titles, occupations for your business occupational analysis. When you do this enter in information in for your business occupational analysis, you're going to be doing it in an Excel spreadsheet. The Excel spreadsheet is specific for your publication, is customized. It will take what you had last time that you filed, take the format, and it's going to put it into an Excel file. You're going to download this template. You're going to fill this in, and then you're going to upload it in the filing tool once it's complete. So once you've entered in this information, this over here on to my right is an example of what the final product would look like. But there's no data entering, so to speak, when you go into the filing tool for your business occupational analysis. When you go to the business analysis page, it's going to just have information and instructions on what to do. So here is a download template. You're going to download that template, fill in the Excel file, and then upload that file once you have it completed. So when you do your business occupational analysis, it is based off of what you've filed previously, the format. If you do have changes, let us know, and then we'll review those changes with you. Also, if you have a chart you would like to add, let us know, and we can incorporate that in your template as well. The next section is the age of source. The age of source section, this takes your analyzed issue, and it's going to break it down by the age of source for your qualified non-paid. How old was that source information, such as a written communication, or was it telecommunication? It wants to know the age of the source. Age of source can't be more than 36 months old. This is not a requirement for paid, but it is a requirement for your qualified non-paid distribution. We do have some clients that would prefer when they do this age of source, they combine their paid and a qualified non-paid together. You are able to do that. There is a button in the filing tool to combine your totals. So this is an example of what the age of source page is going to look like. And this is what the outcome would look like on the right. Next section is an optional reporting. It's the mailing address. This is taking your analyzed issue and it's breaking it down. How was that issue mailed to the individual? Was it individual name and title? Was it individual name only, etc.? Again, this is an optional reporting. If you choose to fill this out, it is based off your analyzed issue. The third main component of the filing tool is the geographical analysis. This is required for all business and farm publications. Again, it's taking that analyzed issue, but what it's doing now, it's analyzing your distribution for that analyzed issue for both your print and your digital by state and also by province if you're a Canadian publication. When you enter in your information, you can enter it either manually or you can download a template, AAM's template for the geographical analysis, fill it in, and then upload it. So you are able to upload your geographical analysis, but you do have to use AAM's template. The following sections in the filing tool are optional. This is your pricing information, and it breaks down your prices by the percent of sales, whether it was if it was a basic price sold at 75% of basic price. Also, the term of the how long was that subscription? Was it 1 year? Was it 13 months? Was it 24 months? Also, how was that subscription sold? This is all based on the subscriptions, new and renewal, that are during the statement period that you received. Again, this is optional. Should you choose not to enter information for terms or sales of channels, things of that nature, there is a button for you to click saying that you're not reporting this optional paragraph. We're winding down towards the end of the filing tool. You're getting close to the end here. So the next section before you start reviewing your information prior to submission is a notes section. This is referred to as an explanatory section. Takes any information that's in your publisher statement that you want to expound on, such as paid multi-copy same addressee. What you do is you would click on, when you go in the notes section, you're going to click on add notes, and it's going to give you a menu of the different options for you to select. You would then select the note, and then you would save it. Now we're getting into the review and submit section. Prior to submitting your information, there is a section called publisher comments. In the publisher comments, these comments will not get printed on your document. These are comments for internal purposes only. When you submit your publisher statement to AAM, it goes through a review process. The reviewer is going to take your statement, the information that you provided, and compare it to what was filed previously. If we notice major fluctuations, the reviewer is going to contact you and saying, hey, you may want to double check this. So if there's information change in your distribution plan, if you had price changes, if you are adding a new category, I would make a note in the publisher comments section, so that will be helpful for the reviewer. If you have no changes, everything was the same, distribution changed obviously, but there was no added categories, anything of that nature, you can just skip this particular section. The next section is upload files. This is if you want the logo of your publication printed on the PDF document of your publisher statement, or if you have a revised logo that you would like to provide, this is the section you would upload the file. We require that it's either a TIFF or a JPEG format. Now, prior to submission, you want to proof your information. So to proof your information, there's going to be a section called View Data. When you view your data, it'll show you all each section in the filing tool and all the data elements that you have entered. So this is a quick way for you to double check the information prior to submission. If you go through the view data and you notice that, oh, you know what, I made a mistake, I need to go and correct that, just go back into the filing section, the particular section that you noticed that you had to do a revision, and then make the revision, save it, and then go back to view data, and you'll see that the revision had taken place. If you have a corrections after you submitted your publisher statement, you'll need to notify AAM, because once you submit your publisher statements, you will not be able to make corrections into the filing tool. You'll have to call us and we'll manually have to make those corrections for you. Prior to submission is you want to double check view alerts. View alerts is going to identify any errors in the filing tool. So for example, if your geographic analysis is imbalancing to your issue by issue, the one that you selected for your analyzed issue, it's going to give you an error message. So you want to make sure that all the messages have been, that you've addressed all the messages that occur in the view alerts. Once you've entered data, you've done your view data, you double check everything, then what you can do is you can submit your information. So what you're going to do is on the statement submission section, you're going to put your name, title. Below the title, there's going to be a box you want to check. That's basically your electronic signature. By checking the box, you're telling AAM that, hey, the best of my abilities, the information that I have provided is true and accurate. and then you hit the statement submission. Once you hit the statement submission, you're going to get an email saying that your statement has been successfully submitted. As I mentioned before, once you submit your publisher statement, it does go through a review process. Once the reviewer checks everything, they're going to send you an email. And in this email, they're going to tell you, you have one more opportunity to look at the information prior to us putting it into our database. So what they're going to do is they're going to send you this email, and it says, yes, I agree with the information that's in the filing tool, or no, I do not agree, and I have corrections. So when you get this email, it's going to direct you back into the filing tool under View Data. So under View Data, you're going to look at the information. One thing I do want to point out is once your statement is released, if you are not part of our brand view profile, I highly recommend that you think about setting up a brand view profile. The brand view profile, it's free. It's not, and there's no additional cost, but what it does, it allows you to customize your publication in our database. You get to have a cover page. It's called an overview page. You can put information about your publication. You could have links to your media kit. And it just gives a quick look at your publication, your latest release publisher statement, and it breaks it down into tabs. And so you'll have a circulation tab. If you're part of the social media, if we audit your website or social media, we'll have a tab for that. And it's just a quick look at your information based off your latest released publisher statement without diving into the analysis tool that's in our Media Intelligence Center. The other thing that's great about BrandView is that you're going to have a link for BrandView, and you can share this link with anybody, even if they're a non-AAM client. The only feature they would not receive was this reports library. So my example here, I'm using Vetted, this publication, and they have an overview page, and you'll see that it will has description about the publication, has a link to their media kit. They provided a copy of an issue of their publication. And then there's graphics. These graphics are being from a summary of their latest release publisher statement. The latest release publisher statement information automatically updates. So once you set your profile, you don't have to go in and update it every statement. You can basically set it and forget it unless you want to update it. So I am going to now switch over to a live demo and go through the filing tool, go through what we just covered. So I am using Vetted as my example, but I do want to let you know that the information that I'm inputting as I demo Vetted is that it is made up. It is not the true vetted numbers. I'm just using them purely for demonstration purposes. So what you're going to do is you'll go into AAM's website at auditedmedia.com. You're going to go into Login. And instead of choosing Media Intelligence Center, you want to choose Publishing Filing Center. Once you do the Publishing Filing Center, it's going to ask you for your credentials to log into the filing tool. It's going to ask for your username, member number, and your password. If you're not sure what those are, let me know, and then I'll provide that for you. Once you enter that, then you have some more options on the right-hand side. We want to select Publisher Statement Filing. And what will happen is that it will come up on your publication. You'll have a welcome page. And as I had mentioned before in my PowerPoint, there's 3 sections to the filing tool. You have general information, analysis, and review and submit. We want to start with publication information. This is when you indicate what type of circulation you have. Do you have print? Do you have digital? Do you have both? Also then, what type of circulation is it? Is it qualified paid? Is it qualified non-paid? Do we have any non-qualified non-paid? Everyone's going to have non-qualified non-paid. These are your miscellaneous sample copies. Those are going to advertisers. So this will automatically be checked. But the ones that won't be checked would be the qualified non-paid or as well as a qualified paid. That you need to check, if that's applicable to your publication. Next, it's going to have information about your publication, has your field serve, and the qualified recipients for your qualified non-paid distribution. This will should be pulled over from your previous file. If you do have any changes, you can make changes, but to let you know, for FieldServe, if you have changes to your FieldServe, you do have to have that approved by AAM. We just need to double check that your FieldServe meets the requirements. Once you're satisfied with your publication information, go ahead and click Save. And you'll see that message, or you can click Save and Continue. Now this is the issue by issue section. This is one of the main components you're going to be filling out. For Vetted, it is a monthly publication. If you needed to add additional issue, if you were a weekly publication, you would use this plus icon. Click on the plus icon and it'll bring an additional box for you to enter information. You can go ahead and click the plus sign as many times as you need for the number of issues that are applicable for your publication. If you accidentally clicked too many, go ahead and use the red X to delete. The other thing that you're going to notice is the issue by issue section. It breaks down all the possible categories you could have for paid, as well as qualified non-paid. You're only going to fill in what is applicable to your publication. So for my publication, I have paid distribution, so I'm going to fill out what my paid distribution is by issue. The same thing for my digital. I scroll over, and then here's my qualified non-paid. I have qualified non-paid individual print. I have my digital qualified non-paid. There's also qualified non-paid association, etc. If you have that, then you would fill it in. You just fill in what is applicable to your publication. And if you keep scrolling, this is where this non-qualified, non-paid distribution is. As I mentioned before, this is your miscellaneous sample copies. This is your advertiser copies, those miscellaneous copies. This will not get reported in your issue to issue in your final product, in your final PDF document of your report, but it will show the average. So as you see, as you start entering numbers, the filing tool actually will start calculating what your average is for that particular category. So for example, my individual paid is 615 on average. My qualified non-paid distribution is an average of 392,280. It takes all my issues, adds them up, and divides by the number of issues for my statement period. This section will automatically calculate what my 6-month average is for my individual distribution categories. Now you can manually enter this information, or you can go ahead and upload your file. But in order to do that, you do have to use, it has to be very specific. There is a CVS specifications here when you click on it, how your file needs to be set up. So basically, you're going to set up your Excel file in this exact format, and then you're going to save it as a CVS file. And we also have, if you click on Download Example, and you click on it, it'll show you, give you a shell of how to set up your Excel file. So mine's popping up. Give it a moment. It does take a moment for it to pop up, but it does give you the shell for you to fill in. Again, it's up to you what your preference is. So this is, click Enable Editing, and then you're going to set this up that's specifically for your publication. But it already has all the headers, all the column headers already set for you. All you need to do is put in your issue and then fill in what your distribution is for the applicable categories. When you come to save it, you're going to save it not as Excel, but as a CVS file. So I'm going to exit out of there, and then you would choose File, find your CVS file, and then go ahead and then upload it. If you do have questions about that, let me know. I'm more than happy to walk you through the process. But again, this is one of the main components of the filing tool, is your issue by issue section. Next is the regional, and one thing too, let me go back to the issue by issue. A couple things to note. This is the special issue section. If you have a special issue, you're going to select which issue is a special issue. In my case, I don't have any special issues. To be honest with you, most of our business publication clients and farm clients do not have special issues, so this probably is not applicable to you, but if you do, this is what you would select. You would select, just go ahead and check the box, which was a special issue for you. In my demonstration, I do not have special issues. Everyone, though, is going to have an analyzed issue. Again, it's up to you to decide which issue you want to analyze. It just has to be within the statement period, so you can select from your July to your December analyzed issue. For my example, I'm choosing my November issue. You're going to see this November issue then when I look at my business occupational analysis, my geographic analysis, my age of source, and my mailing. And remember to save and save often, so save or save and continue. The regional demographic edition, this is if you have a regional demographic edition. If you do, go ahead and click on the plus icon, and it will bring where you just start typing in what your special issue is named. Put the circulation, fill in the information, then click save. In my case here, I don't have a special issue, so I'm just going to go ahead and go into the next section. This is occupational analysis. So this is when you're taking your analyzed issue and you're going to break it down by your business titles, your occupation. Now, if you notice, there's nothing here for me to enter. There's not a field for me to enter. That's where you had to download the template. So I'm going to download the template. I'm going to click on the bottom here to open up the Excel file. And I'll pop up here in just a moment, but this Excel file is specific for my title. So what I have here for vetted would be different for Adweek. So just keep in mind, this format is from what we had set for you previously. If there are any changes to it, let us know, and we'll update the format for you. So you want to click on Enable Editing, and then to start typing in what your distribution is for each classification, whether it's your paid print, your qualified paid digital, your qualified non-paid print and digital. Once you have this completed, you're going to go ahead and save it. And then once you save it, then you're going to go into Choose File, find where your file is, and then click Upload. So remember, you do have to complete your business occupational analysis, but there's not a template, there's not a specific section in here for you to fill out like there was for the issue by issue. Instead, it is through the Excel file. You download the template, fill out the Excel file that is specific for your publication, and then you're going to upload it. If you do want to add charts to your business occupational analysis, we certainly can do that, so just let us know. Again, if you had a chart from previous, it will then have that chart move forward for your new analyzed issue. If you are not sure, if you have any questions, there's also, if you view instructions, if you click on view instructions, we have our filing tool here, and it'll go right directly to your business occupational analysis. If you scroll down, it'll show you specifically on what to do. And these instructions are for the whole entire filing tool. They're very detailed. Highly recommend using this as a source. Again, once you have it, you upload the file, then you're going to click Continue. The next section is the age of source. What this is taking your analyzed non-paid distribution, and you're going to break it down by the age of source. Again, if I want to combine my paid, it is not a requirement for paid. But if you want to include paid into the total, you can, and you just would say, where it says click here if you're reporting paid and non-paid circulation aggregate. If I uncheck this, what it will do is that I put in what all my qualified non-paid distribution is, break it down by the particular type of, whether it's direct request for recipients, and then if you look down here, here's my paid subscriptions is right down here. It's not being analyzed. So it's up to you. Again, once you have this completed, you're going to save and save or save and continue. Again, this is taking your analyzed issue. The next section is mailing address. This is optional. This is taking your analyzed issue and it's breaking it down. How is the issue, the mailing label, how was it set up? Was it individual name only? Was it title and occupation? And so forth. If you choose not to report this, you're going to check the box, click here if not reporting, and then click Save. The next section, this is the other main component. So we had the issue by issue, we had the business occupational analysis, did age of source, and now it's a geographic analysis. This is a requirement for all our business and firm titles that you take your analyzed issue and you're going to break it down by distribution by state, or if you need to, for a Canadian publication, you would break it down by province. You can manually start typing in the numbers, or you can download the template. It's an Excel file, but you have to use our Excel file because it's an exact format in order for it to be able to upload correctly. So again, it takes a moment for it to appear. Click Enable Editing, and then you can take your reports and copy and paste into this Excel file. You're going to save it, and then you can do Choose File, and then find your file, and then upload, and it will automatically populate. So it's up to you whether or not you want to enter information in manually or if you want to use the template. Again, the analyzed issue, this will need to balance back to that November issue that I selected in my issue by issue, because November was my analyzed issue that I selected. So it needs to match in total. So my total for November needs to match my qualified paid and qualified non-paid. Same thing with the business occupational analysis, age of source. It's taking that analyzed issue and it's looking at it different ways, but my totals will always be the same for that analyzed issue. Pricing information. So here I have, I'm going to uncheck this box just so you can see what these boxes look like. Now this section, particular section on your pricing information is optional. You don't have to report it. You do have to report what your basic subscriptions are. You do have to provide the basic information about your publication as far as the pricing is concerned. But as far as the sales include premium values, if it did, if it was sold at a higher than basic price, that's truly up to you whether or not you want to divulge that information or not. If you choose not to, you go ahead and click here, reporting this particular optional, click here of not reporting this optional paragraph. If you want to take, this is subscriptions sold, new and renewal during your statement period, and it wants to know, was it more than 3 years old? Is it 1 year subscriptions? Is it 2 year subscriptions? Again, this is optional. If you choose not to report it, check the box, click here, not reporting this optional paragraph. The other is taking that same information, but it's breaking it down by sales channels. How did you receive your subscriptions for your renewal and new subscriptions during the statement period? Was it ordered by mail? Did you use catalogs? Again, the totals that are here would be the same totals reported in term data and for premiums used. But I choose not to report my sales channel, so again, I'm going to click here of not reporting this optional paragraph. And the last section here is about premium usage. Did you use premiums? Did you not? If you wanted to report that information, you can. If not, again, click here for not reporting this optional paragraph. We have post expires and renewals. So it's up to you whether or not you're going to be reporting this or not. And then once you have this filled out, you're just going to click on Save. Now I'm nearing the end of the filing tool. Now I'm in the notes section. The notes section is if I don't have particular notes in here, click on Add Notes. And let's say I had paid multi-copy same addressee. Go ahead and click on that and click Save. And that will add it into my explanatory section in my this particular verbiage will be printed on my PDF document. And then once you do, you want to save it and then Just double check if you have a note that was carried over from last time, but you no longer want to use it. You can go ahead and just click on the X to delete it. Now we're in the final stages. Now we come to the review and submit section. This is publisher comments. Remember, this is if I had anything I want a reviewer to know at AAM about changes I had in my publication, you would type it here and click save. For me, I had no major changes in my channels of distribution, so I'm just going to skip it and just say save and continue. This is if you want to upload the logo for your publication or revise it, you would do it in this particular section. View data. This is a section that I highly recommend that you look at often. What this is, when you pop it up, it's going to give you all the information that you've entered. What you want to do is click on each gray box, and it will then expand that particular section and show you exactly what was entered by the categories. So if you see here, here's your average paid circulation. This is what the filing tool took your issue by issue to create your 6-month average for your qualified paid. Then if we go average qualified non-paid circulation, this is taking that issue by issue section and then calculating the average for it by the individual categories. Here's my average non-qualified circulation. Those are my miscellaneous staff and my advertising copies. And if I click on issue by issue, if you see, here's my total paid, my qualified paid in total. So if you see, your issue by issue is a lot smaller than what it is in the actual filing tool. The filing tool itself, what it did, it took all the categories that you entered here to calculate your 6-month average. So that's why you want to go into view data to see how it calculated your 6-month average by the individual categories. So once you expand on all the gray boxes and you double check and everything looks great, there is a print icon in the upper right hand corner. I highly recommend that you either print this out to save it as backup, or you can save it as a PDF. So when you hit the print icon, you can change the destination, and it'll instead of right now it's going to be printing out to a printer, you want to hit change, and then you can save it as a PDF. Before I submit, I'm going to double check my alerts. View alerts is going to give you messages, and you want to look at your messages to make sure that everything ticks and ties. So right now, saying I didn't upload my business occupational file, so I need to upload that. It's also saying my age of source isn't balancing, and things like that. So you want to make sure that you address all the issues that all the messages that pop up in view alerts. Basically, you would like to see where this has nothing in it. Once you addressed all the error messages, then you can go into statement submission. This is when you're going to type in your name and your title, the manager, and then you're going to check the box right below it. By checking the box, that's your electronic signature, and then you're going to go ahead and click the blue button, Submit Publisher Statement. This is when you're going to get an email that's saying your statement has been submitted successfully. So the filing tool really is not that hard to navigate. It's fairly simple. You just want to make sure that you have all the information from your circulation records at your side, have your prior publisher statement available, so you can make sure that things look you can kind of keep an eye on what your distribution is. Your December distribution should be fairly similar to your previous publisher statement. So you just want to look for fluctuations, things of that nature. I do want to show you before I let you go, in our filing under our website, if you go under Knowledge Base and you go under B2B from Media, go into Filing Center Resources, we have a how-to guide. And if you go into this how-to file your circulation data, it goes through, breaks down the filing tool step by step, provides graphics, and it explains exactly what it is that you need to enter. So there is helpful information that we do have on our website. Also, too, as always, you can always contact me at 224-366-6342, or you can my email address is Sandy, so it's spelled with an I, SANDI.LICKING @auditedmedia.com. So that is our filing tool webinar for our business pubs and farm publisher statements. If you do have any questions, please give me a call. I appreciate you attending our webinar today, and have a great afternoon.